Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining us this week on our YouTube podcast, and you can find it later this week on our audio version as well. So this week we're talking with Jay from um, that way, Love of Cards. Know him through TikTok and other social medias, and been really keeping an eye on what he's doing lately. He's doing a lot of fun things, doing a lot of pack openings. He's really trying to do some of the more funny, entertaining videos with TikTok trends and things like that. And just he caught my attention, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, let's get together on the show." So Jay, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Hey, well, thanks a lot, Michael. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you inviting me onto your podcast.
Yeah, no problem. So just so everybody knows, so how long have you been collecting and things like that?
So I started collecting when I was probably about 10, 11 years old, mid 80s,
Hmm.
and really was into baseball cards, when I was a young kid. And so I
Hmm.
collected, you know, pretty aggressively through the 90s, and then went off to college and became less interested in sports cards. And a couple of years back, had a friend that just recommended I'd open up some of my old boxes of cards and look through them, and the rest is history. I just kind of
Get sucked
fell
back.
back in love with it,
Yeah.
for sure. Fell
Yeah,
back
very
in love
similar
with it.
story. Very similar story. Collected a lot in the '80s, and I'll tell a story a while back of how I was in the card shop. I was all of like maybe 12 years old at the time, and I'm sitting there looking at. Actually, I was probably 10 or 11, and I'm looking at a Thurman Munson rookie from 1970, and I absolutely thought the card was awesome. That it was from 1970, like before I was born,
Hmm.
and it was $20. Right, they only had raw cards back then, and I thought
Hmm.
like how expensive that card was to be a $20 card, and I never ended up getting it. I actually just recently bought, I believe, a PSA 7
Hmm.
card for like just under $100, and I'm pretty happy. So it's like a bucket list to be reunited with this card.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And I think that's why a lot of, I don't know, I mean, a little bit older than a lot of the younger kids that are collecting right now. But I think that, guys that are getting it back into it kind of are getting back into it because there was a dream card of theirs,
Yeah,
or there was a dream that they had when they were a little kid that maybe they couldn't afford a certain card or whatnot, and now they might have the ability to get it. So yeah,
right.
for sure.
So what sports did you collect early on? And like, what are you collecting now? What kind of sports are you collecting now?
Yeah, so early on, I was always a baseball card collector.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from Mark McGuire and
Mhm.
Ken Griffey Jr. and everything like that, and basketball. Were the two main sports that I kind of was interested in. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so Green Bay by blood, and I mean, I definitely liked football, but not as much as those other sports. But being in the hobby, I definitely love to collect all cards.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to kind of spread my wings too. I mean, growing up, it was mostly baseball and football. I mean, a little bit of basketball, but not really. And certainly, I mean, a little bit of hockey. Actually, I have a lot of early
Nice,
'90s hockey, and that's the one
nice.
sport like I didn't get back into this time.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it's really interesting. The different style sports. From hockey to soccer, and how diversified those two type of sports can be. All over the globe and such. So
yeah, I mean, I really didn't know anything about soccer growing up. Like, I helped, ball run and stuff for like my high school soccer team, but
sure,
I
sure.
never played a lick of soccer until my kids, my oldest daughter, who's now a sophomore in high school, played as like an 8-year old. Um, and I was the church team had asked me to coach. And I'm on YouTube looking up practice videos and practice videos, and I learned the sport through her, right? And I
Sure, sure.
became friends with a lot of the other coaches and dads and stuff, and just grew a huge love for the sport. My buddy Rich got me into the Chelsea club, and I
Nice,
do a lot of
nice,
Chelsea, and that's why I know like Eden Hazard is one of my biggest semi-personal collections right now. I think he's a great
nice,
investment, not only just from a collection point of view, but I've got like cards like this Cristiano Ronaldo. Uh,
nice, nice.
um, and so I just you probably saw my videos earlier this week. I just got back some cards from SGC. So this is
Yeah,
cards that I
how did you like the experience with SGC?
so I did this with a group sub with a friend.
Uh-huh.
Which is funny because we sent these in after I had sent in a personal 40 card submission that I still didn't get back. So somehow he schmoozed
From
them enough,
SGC, the same
SGC.
company.
He schmoozed them enough to put his order that was in 2 weeks after my personal order right through, which I didn't care. I have cards in it. But
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
this was one of the nicer cards I got, the Topps Living set, Luis Robert. I
Oh,
got
that's
him on
beautiful.
that.
That's a beautiful card. He's
Yeah,
gonna
these
be a
are
hot
really.
he's gonna be a hot player. He's a
I
definitely a
think
hot
so.
player.
I
One to
think
collect
so.
for sure.
I mean, I have a lot of soccer ones here. See, there's Hazard. Right, that's
Nice.
number 10. That's the
That's
User
a
Prism.
select product, isn't it?
This one's Prism, but there's a
Oh,
lot
that's a prism.
select. This
Nice,
is select.
nice,
This is a Wayne Rooney select.
nice, nice. And I like that select design a lot. I just picked up one here called this is a Jordan
Yeah, Sancho.
Sancho.
That's a
Yep,
really good card.
it is. It is a
Really
hot
good
card.
card.
A friend of mine recommended that.
Yeah,
I got another. I got a lot of Mbappe cards.
that's a great. So with my buddy Anthony that I did the group sub with, I picked up a PSA 10 of Mbappe for $800, and it
Yeah,
almost hit 3,000.
you
And
want
I
to
was
know a
gonna
fun?
sell it. Hmm?
I'll tell you a funny story. I bought 8 of those PSA 10, just the base
The raw base, the
cards,
traditional, yeah.
just the
That's what
base
that's
card.
funny. Yep.
He threw in this Mojo one, or
Yeah,
the
yeah, the Mojo.
Mojo one right here. He threw
Mhm.
that in. I bought them for $300 a piece back
That's
in
great.
March.
Yeah. But it almost
Three
hit
hundred dollars.
3,000 right at Champions League. And then they didn't win. And the card like kind of nosedive, like it's still like 15 or 1,800. So I'm
But
not too
still,
worried, but you lost half your potential value. I call it
yeah.
potential because it's not a loss
No,
unless you bought
well,
at 3,000 and sold. So
that's the thing. People don't get that.
yeah,
It's not money until it's money in your hands.
right, exactly. Yeah, so no, they're definitely soccer's still untapped, and people are talking about how 2022 World Cup, 2026 World Cup in the United
Yep,
States.
yep.
So we're saying like you can ride soccer for the next 6-7 years, and there's a lot of momentum and a lot of
Well,
movement in the right direction for it.
oh heck yeah, a lot of upside. Now you said 2026 is the
World Cup,
cup in the World Cup in America.
yeah. So they won.
Have they decided what city that's going to be in, or no?
I don't think so. It's going to be
Yeah,
several. It'll probably
yeah.
be. I mean, you can imagine it's going to do something in the New York City area,
Sure,
something in the
sure,
Chicago area, something in the Texas area, something in the Los
sure.
Angeles area.
Yep, yep.
Um,
Now, when was the
Florida,
last
Miami,
time they
Florida,
were here?
probably.
Like 92 or something like that, or the early
92 or
90s, if I remember
yeah, I was in
correctly.
college, so 92 or 94, yeah, whatever it was.
Yep,
So it's
yep. I think
2022,
94. I think you might actually be right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be interesting. It's such
Yeah,
a
it would be
it's
94 because it was 2014 and 2018.
Yep,
So
yep.
every 4 years that hits the every 20 years is a multiple. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So,
Fantastic.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We'll see. So, but yeah, so I saw that you on Friday you got your hands on what might be the hottest product right now, which is NFL Mosaic.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
I
talk
love
a
that
little bit
product.
about, spending that kind of money on a hobby box and, going through the cards and was it worth it, right? Is
Sure.
it, was it worthwhile? And if you have any show and tell, please don't let me stop you.
Definitely, definitely. Well, to answer your question, I think the biggest question people need to keep in mind when they're doing this is, are you having fun? And if you're opening up boxes and you're not having fun doing it because
Yeah.
you don't think you can afford it or one way or the other, then that's the first thing you should think about. And it's always a gamble. It
Oh
definitely
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
I kind of am lucky because I have a friend who owns a sports card shop,
Mhm.
and he gives me a fair price. So I bought a couple. And typically, what I'll do is I'll buy a couple boxes, rip maybe one or two, and the rest get thrown in the closet,
Hold on.
so to
Yep. Hold
speak.
on.
But yeah, no, love the Mosaic product from the basketball. Was able to rip some first off the line Mosaic basketball and just some hobby box, and then kind of some retail product. I don't really get into buying a ton of retail product like the blasters or whatnot, but was lucky to rip this Joe Burrow auto
That's
and
Joe
out of
Burrow
that box.
auto. Is it
Not a
numbered?
numbered card. No, no, not a numbered card. But the autograph is very sharp, and the card is very clean on the corners and the edges, and haven't centered graded it. I usually use a tool. This tool here, I don't know if you can
Yep.
see it too well.
Actually, mine's upstairs, but I do. For some reason, I have the instruction pieces down here.
Yeah, there you go. I use this tool to kind of help me measure out and see if cards are centered correctly and such. And I haven't really gotten that on that card yet, but here's another one. This is one of
Oh, the
those
stained glass card. Yeah.
stained glass cards, and I was watching some. Didn't he play today? I think, and I think he played
Yeah, he
pretty
did well
good.
today.
This Gardner Minshew. So these stained glass cards seem to be pretty. I'd say more of like a case hit in the
Yes.
basketball product.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah.
been watching a lot of breaks and such on the football product, and it seems like they're more common in the football
Okay. So maybe yeah.
mosaic than everything else. Got another Joe Burrow
That's the
mosaic
laser printing
parallel.
or something, or
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which one this is called, mosaic parallel or something like that. But really nice cards, really sharp cards. Not
it's
banged
funny.
up as much as some of the other Panini product that I've
It
opened up.
seems to me that the NFL mosaic cards are getting better reviews than the NBA mosaic
Yeah,
card. I don't
well,
understand why.
my
Maybe it's the
well,
uniforms.
as far as like the condition of the card when you open it up, or are you saying, or like the image of the card?
I think the images and kind of the
Sure,
visual appeal of it. It seems like
sure.
they're the same, but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
I think they definitely are poppy cards, like these men in mastery cards
Okay.
are kind of is a nice design that they didn't really have in the basketball, I believe. But yeah, no, the cards are really nice, and like I say, the edges and corners are nice in these cards right out of the pack. Like some of the other cards that you get from Panini sometimes are not so nice, even
Hmm.
right out of the pack.
Interesting. I've
Yeah,
got two. I think they're over there. I probably won't get up, but I did get two of the Donruss hobby boxes,
nice.
um, straight from Panini. Somehow I'm pretty good at getting past the bots when they
Yes,
come up.
yes. It's almost
Not easy.
impossible on some websites, that's for sure.
I'm at least 500. Like I said, I got the Panini Chronicles, the soccer one.
The soccer
I
ones,
got a couple.
sure.
I think I got three of them that day. Um,
Yes.
and I've gotten a couple of the Like I think I got these Prism Mega baseball cards from
Sure,
them.
sure.
So I've gotten fairly lucky, but you know, law of averages will kick in eventually, I'm sure.
No, no,
I have to open
exactly.
that up. Yeah, I have to open that up. Because I think, and I'd like your opinion on this. I think if you're gonna sell some cards or flip cards, you want to move them as soon as the product comes out, because once it hits critical mass and people get settled, that I heard you mention on Friday, FOMO, right? And
Yes,
that's a big market
100%.
driver. Like that Joe Burrow right now is probably you know, more
It's
expensive than it's gonna be. It's probably gonna dip a little bit and then based on its performance come right back up. But there's probably an
100%.
initial supply and demand with that card that until enough of that card get open and get and put into circulation, the demand is going up. We saw that a lot with baseball. There wasn't a whole lot of hits in Top Series 2, but outside of the Luis Robert, right? But we saw that McCutcheon short print with the chain
Yep,
and stuff go
100%.
absolutely ballistic. And even that Phillies team card that had Pete Rose as part of the card went up as high as like, now I just got one of those for $3, which is to
Yeah.
me the right price. I think it could have been, I don't know if it was 4 shipped or 3 shipped, but I talked the guy down to 3. I think he wanted to charge me 7. So
Yeah.
I think that went from 7 to 3 is amazing. That you know, that shows you how volatile that card was. But I think that when the iron's hot, you have to strike, right? So
No, 100%. I think, you know, when players are hot, and games are hot, like for example, a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month now ago, when Bo was so hot, his cards like tripled in value.
he had
So,
one
you
good
know,
preseason scrimmage. I mean,
yeah,
he still had a couple good games, don't get me wrong, but his cards move so much.
yeah,
He really
no,
was
100,
talented, and you just got to be careful on that. You know, like for
no,
example, this Russell Wilson.
yeah,
I bought this back in June, and it's now like a $500 card. And I was talking with some people, and they're like, I don't know why his card moved.
yeah,
But then he had 3 touchdowns today. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
maybe the
No,
market.
well, you know, what I try to do is I try to split up my cards in a couple different categories, right?
Mhm.
Like a category that I know is going to be like a quick moving category, or something in that nature. Cards that are more long term plays, you know, and then you know, other cards that I like to collect, which I think are more solid investments for the long term hold, are like your vintage cards, like this one, which is an Ernie Banks,
I
his
like
rookie card. Now this is, you know, this card is, I think I bought this card for maybe $400 or something like that. This card may be worth $600-700 now.
that's great.
But I'm always going to know what Ernie Banks did. You know, I may not know what Zion Williamson is done. You know, I mean, he's had 1 year. He could have a blowout knee next year, and this card that may be $1,500 now, maybe a lot less next year. So definitely is one of those things. Yeah, you want to strike when the iron's hot. You know, I heard a term FOMO once upon a time. It's an acronym for fear of missing out.
Right.
And I think with how everyone's got screens in their pockets these days, you know, and everyone's on social media so much, you know, there's this drive to, oh shoot, did I not get that particular card, or should I get another Zion Williamson, or should I get another John Morant or something of that nature? So, you know, it's strike when the iron's hot for sure.
Yeah, no, like I said, even with that Chronicles set, you know, I paid $250 for the box on blowout cards, and I opened up one of them and I hit a Mason Greenwood rookie ticket. I sold it for $375 like that weekend. Right. Now that guy probably got it graded. He probably, I mean, I gave it to him in a one touch. He probably got it graded and flipped it, good for him. I really
Yeah.
wasn't trying to be like the, get it all. I really want to get my money back and enjoy and move on. And, if
Yeah.
you want to do the legwork, that's fine. It's not always about, either maximizing things or there's parts of the hobby where you just want to do it for the hobby's sake. I'm not always about, how do I maximize things? And like we said, it's like the stock market.
Yeah.
Did I buy Apple at the right price? Did I sell Apple at the right time? You just have to go with
But
what is needed at the
but
time.
did you make some money? And
Oh
did
yeah,
you
have some fun.
move it on and have fun? That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that I
Yeah, I
try
think
to.
people get too caught up in the dollars and cents
Yeah,
that
no,
you know,
and that's not the reason to collect anything. I mean,
right.
I collect sports cards, but I collect a lot. I'm a collector by heart. I've collected a lot of different things all my life, and the one thing that I've always enjoyed about collecting is having fun. And
You have to. I
and
mean,
and if you're not into it for fun, then there may be something else for you.
the cards definitely got me through like all of COVID and quarantine. I know we're not
Oh
technically
yeah,
done yet, but like it was definitely I come down here in my basement. I got my little office down here, and
sure.
I think my happy place, right?
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
I make sure that I spend time with my family, my wife, my kids. I do what I gotta do around the house, and I come down here, and that's the problem is I'll be down here until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I pay the
Yeah,
price
yeah.
today.
No,
But I'll sit here. I mean, like, all these slabs to go through. I've got cards, right? So like I'm still buying. Like, these are all raw cards, right? So like
nice,
Mike Yastrzemski, I'm picking up a bunch of him. These are some of the holiday
nice.
rookie cards. So I'm finding that the holiday rookie cards are a nice alternative to the traditional base card. It's a little cheaper, and
Now
I just think it's cool. That's
like the tops like Christmas holiday cards. Is
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when
Sharp.
last Christmas when I kind of was more new back into the sport. I had another local sports card shop that the guy gave me a whole bunch of those holiday packs. Remembered
Yeah,
opening them
well,
up.
they're worth something, but people, I think, it's kind of like opening day. It's like a fun set.
Yeah,
The fun,
ab
it's really fun.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
What
I picked up
have
Chris Godwin.
have you got into any of that Tops Now project or anything like that?
Yeah, I do like
The Tops
those.
2020 project rather.
On the Tops 2020. So I did early on. Heroes for
Yeah.
Sale was one of the earlier podcasts I got into when I got
Yep.
back.
Yep.
And Adam's great. And Adam talked about it. I'm like, these are great. Like, I want these. I'm like, $20 a piece. I'm like, yeah, they'll probably resell for like 30 a piece. Like, I was looking and I was like, okay. I'm like, well, why don't I just buy a couple and
Yeah.
see how they flip and whatever. And then I had bought just one of the earlier Dwight Goodens.
Okay.
Okay, I'm like, I'm curious how much it is. And I literally put it in and I was like, $260.
Yeah. No,
So
it
I
was
probably
wild. The
didn't really
cards, it seemed like from the very beginning to
yeah,
maybe card 35 or 36 or something like that.
around 40 or 50.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
if you were really on the ball with buying and selling those cards on the early one, you would have made some money for sure. But
You did well, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, and then so I've got a ton of like ones from the 80s, the numbered 80s to number almost like 100, like just before 100. And
sure.
I've got like 5 of each. Like, I've sold a couple of them. I've traded a couple of them to people.
Yeah.
More of like a break-even proposition at this point. I'll keep a couple. It's a piece of time. It's a piece of,
Yeah.
I
Well,
won't
I
say
think anything 2020 is going to have some amazing value on it.
Did you
Moving
get
on,
any
I
of the
think.
Fauci cards? Did you get the Fauci or the Mike Trout with he's got the mask on running the bases?
No, I didn't. But see,
I didn't.
that's what I'm talking about. That 2020 card would be, I mean, 2020 is going to be a year that people won't forget
No,
anytime soon. That's for sure. There's been
that was amazing. We just had all the 9/11, reflection and stuff, right?
sure.
And you're like, man, that was like, people died and stuff, but that was nothing compared to what this has done to our country. I mean, I think maybe because 9/11, while being just absolutely horrible,
Yeah.
brought our country together, and I think COVID has just done the opposite. I mean, it's an
Yeah,
election
no,
year. I'm not here to talk politics, but whatever.
no,
Um,
it's well, nonetheless, 2020 is a crazy year.
it's just crazy.
Crazy year.
Whatever.
Where
If you
where
think
where
something can't
we're at
happen,
is very smoky, and the
yeah,
wildfires are getting raging. So,
West Coast is
2020.
crazy. No, it's like anything that you couldn't think could possibly happen. 2020 has said, nope, watch me.
Hmm.
Um, back to 2020. So someone gave me this card, sort of like a random act of kindness. Sando
Nice, nice. That's
cards.
the Mark
Mark
McGuire.
McGuire.
20,
I like the songs. It's kind of USA. It's patriotic, right? And then you and
nice.
I both talked about growing up in the '80s collecting cards. So
Yep.
he kind of gave me this one in kind of a trade, but it was more of a here. I want you to have one of these.
Nice, nice,
I think I paid $8 for this. This is the card 100, which to me is the iconic card of the set so far. In terms of like, it was
nice.
really when it was one of the higher print runs, right? And it was one of the ones where like that's where the table's kind of turned on flipping.
Sure, sure,
So I
absolutely.
have these two outside of the boxes of ones that I have in sleeves and sitting over there. I have to go through and inventory them because I know that people who didn't get them were interested in them, and again, it makes for great trades or what have you.
Well, that's kind of what how I got into it. I've been buying the
Mhm.
the two card print every
Yep.
day, and sometimes I kind of stopped buying an extra one, but I bought quite a few extra ones in the very beginning, and same thing. I didn't collect 1 through 34. I've collected everything up through there. They're in the other room. Otherwise, I grab them.
Yeah, mine are.
Um, and I feel like I'm in it to win it now. Unfortunately, I mean, we're on, I think, 236 or something like that. I think there's 400 cards in
Right.
the set. So I'm gonna try to put a set together, and have some
Right.
extras to give away or trade for sure.
Perfect. Perfect. So Ziggy commented about our talk about 9/11 and the difference between 9/11 and now, and he's exactly right. Right. Like I said, it's just we're at a different time when something just
Hmm.
happened. So I just want to point out Ziggy. Ziggy is a great viewer. Thank you, Ziggy. We're going to talk to Ziggy one of these coming weeks too. Um, he also said how crazy cheap Project 2020s are,
Yep.
which is a shame because they are beautiful and they should at least get their $20 value that they're sold at. It's a shame that they're so saturated that they're down to like $8 now, but it is what it
Hmm. No, it definitely is what it is, and great comments there, Ziggy. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I mean, the at first I guess I didn't realize how many cards were in that set, but some of those cards are just beautiful cards. The artists are really cool. And it goes to that whole FOMO thing that I was talking about earlier, especially
Yeah,
like with that artist Ben Baller, and
yeah,
how uh how much clout he has behind his name and such.
he does, and I got a little frustrated with him because he started getting political with his
Yeah,
clout,
yeah,
um, which made me kind of back away a little bit. But
definitely.
hey, that's just again, it's what we do in 2020, and we look at the NBA and MLB and NFL and the statements that they're making with the center of attention of sports rejoining. So,
Hmm.
it is what it is. So yeah, Ziggy was talking to you about the Project 2020 cards as well. He has all of them from 70 to 150, starting to do only the ones he likes, which again, yeah, to do $20 every day is a lot. I mean, that's like
No, no, it is a lot, and or $34 when you're buying both of the cards. I think it's 34.99
yeah,
plus
it's
shipping.
17.50 a piece. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I made some money on the earlier cards, so I
Likewise.
feel
Yeah.
like I put that money kind of in a piggy bank, or so
Hmm.
to speak. And
Hmm.
then as I'm buying the cards, I'm pulling it out of that piggy bank. I
Sure.
think it's
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
it's important to create a budget when you're in this hobby as well. I mean, a budget for the packs you're gonna rip, a budget for the single cards you're going to rip, or single raw cards, or a budget for, you know, your graded cards, like your PSA cards that
Right.
you want to get, or BGS or something that you want to buy already pre-graded. You know, you should always kind of set that budget, not just, you know, not think about the monetary value of everything, for sure.
Yeah, I'm starting to, now that I'm going like season to season, and I'm trying to make sure that I can sell some cards to front load money to move, because there is, let's face it, there's money moving from basketball into baseball and football right now, big time.
Absolutely,
And,
100%.
I'm just as guilty of that as anybody else. But I think that you're going to see that being the trend is, shiny object of the room. And like we're saying, FOMO, right? So get in there, rip your boxes, and just move on and keep the money moving, as long as, like you said, more
Well,
afterwards than there is to start,
yeah, I with the boxes, I'm lucky to have a guy that I know that owns a shop here in town, and he gives me pretty fair prices on boxes. And what I've done with him, kind of made an agreement that, you know, when I rip the boxes, if I hit big things, you know, I'll we'll figure out a value, and he'll put them on his shelf, or he'll put them on his eBay store or something like that, and kind of give me credit back for boxes. So I kind of have like a rolling credit with him, with different cards, you know. And of course, you know, I like to keep some of the cards, the bigger cards that I think are worthwhile. So I don't give him all of the good cards that I get, but it's cool because it gives him revolving new inventory on his shelves, you know, so people aren't always coming in and seeing the exact same thing. They're seeing new hot cards and everything like that. And it helps with the eBay store as well. You know, there's always new cool revolving things that promote the other people who are kind of doing the same thing. So
Ziggy had another question. Can you pre-order from your LCS? You should pre-order Prism football and basketball.
Well, you know, it's funny because although he's been a store owner for 25, 30 years, you know, he still doesn't get a lot of doesn't get as much product as other people do. You know, I mean, I was able to get some National Treasures from him when the basketball National Treasures came out, and I definitely had to give him, you know, some pre-order money with it to set those aside for me, you know, and everything when he was able to get them.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I can't really pre-order anything, but you know, he knows that there's a couple guys that like to buy boxes like that. And like I say, he likes to sell the boxes to us for fair price, because he knows that we'll like revolve the cards back into his store.
He's making an investment in you guys as well, it sounds like. That's
exactly
great. I really like, I've got 2 local card shops, well, kind of 3 that I deal with here. I have one in New Jersey. He's all right. I haven't done anything box wise with him. He seems a little pricier. There's another guy over here at a mall nearby. He's pretty good. He's a little not as pricey as the one in New Jersey. I'm in Pennsylvania. And he but he's got a good selection of cards. Like, I went in there a couple days ago and I just bought some top loaders and some sleeves and a shoebox, right? And you know, he had Top Stadium Club hobby boxes. He had, you know, all the basketball cards, $800, $1,200 a box. He's got cellos. He's got the pink cellos of Mosaic, NBA Mosaic. He had a Topps, not Topps. He had a Donruss 2020 football hobby box. He had Gypsy Queen, 2018 Gypsy Queen. So he's got a nice selection. I mean, he's got you know, he's got the Bowman cards. I just don't need it all. Like, that's just a lot, you know.
Well, I do.
Collection's getting better.
Yeah, I was going to say I do love supporting local businesses. You know, I mean, definitely more than sometimes eBay or anything like that.
Oh,
Love
absolutely.
always
Yeah.
sporting local businesses for sure.
So William asked if we have ever held on to wax as an investment. So I've just started doing that. Some of the retail blasters that I get, like I've got some Chrome, and I got some Topps Fire, that I'm just kind of holding right now, and I'll sell them. But I'm not. You're never gonna see me like get a panic sale and sell them. I
Yeah,
some 2017 basketball, the Jason Tatum year. I
nice,
have an optic box and I have a Don Russ hobby box. Uh,
nice. Yeah, William, I've got a lot of unopened boxes as
yeah,
well. I
Topps
buy
Chrome,
it.
Topps Chrome. I really like Topps Chrome this year.
Yeah, no,
Um,
Topps Chrome. Oh, that's the one that's just going to be coming out, right? The Topps Chrome,
no,
not
Topps
the.
Chrome is out. Topps Chrome.
Okay, so this must be the Topps
Yeah,
Chrome.
that's it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. This. I did rip a couple boxes of this.
Mhm.
Bo Bichette, hot baseball player
I got
for
the
sure.
85 of him.
Nice. Yeah, he's going to be a hot player. I think. Who else? This guy, Dustin May.
I just bought a bunch of. Actually, I sold a couple of him, and I just bought a couple more. I bought an optic,
Yeah,
uh, his optic
yeah.
rookie. But I sold a bunch because I have a bunch. I actually have.
No, I've got definitely a couple of boxes of Chrome that are sitting in the closet. I mean, I try to keep boxes for other people's dreams. Down the line. I mean, I took when I saw that 19 was it 86 Fleer basketball box of or
Yeah,
the case go for millions of dollars.
that's insane.
I thought to myself, gee whiz, I should probably keep some of these boxes closed and put away. Now, what I will say about doing that, you got to have some willpower, right? You
So
got to
it's funny that
have
you
some will.
mentioned that. So I'm really grateful for our live viewers giving a comment. So Gaming God talks about Beckett Marketplace as a great way to shop online and still support LCSs. That's a great
Nice,
one to talk more about that. That's a really good idea. And that's one area that I know I want to start digging into, right? And
nice.
again, exactly what you just said. Trying to hold on to sealed wax, it's like ice cream at the beach. Like it's just hard to hold. Um,
Well, I'll
it,
I'll give you I'll give you a little trick that a friend of mine told me once upon a time. He said if you don't have the willpower to hold on to your wax, and if you have a good relationship with your folks, give it to your folks
yeah,
so they can put it in their closet and you don't, and out of sight, out of mind, and go
do you,
back at it in about a year.
do you
And
keep it in a safe or do you have it on a shelf or closet?
I got a closet full of my boxes. I don't, put it away where I lock it up and throw away the keys, so to speak. But yeah, I feel like I'm lucky enough to get a handle on my boxes and crack open stuff. I love to, make videos on TikTok and stuff like that. I'd really get a kick out of all that kind of stuff. So I definitely keep a lot of boxes to do that kind of stuff too.
Yes, that's another thing too is so like even William points out, and I would agree, I've done this, is you look back at what you've opened and what it's worth now, and you kind of kick yourself a little bit. I wish I would have held on to a little more, not opened what I did, but it is what it is. I mean, I had
Yeah.
a Russ 2019 Blaster. I think I paid like $30 for, and I mean now
Uh-huh.
it's 100. Like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But
No.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
opening it. I know I got my hits. I know a lot of those cards are out getting graded now, so I'll make that money back in just a different way. So I'm not
Yeah.
too concerned about that.
No,
Cool.
it's just like everything in the hobby. It's complete gamble. I mean, you're never gonna know, and that's why I love it too. I mean, it's a total
Absolutely.
gamble.
So what we do typically on the show, we talk about so with the theme of back into cards. So what are we into? And
Sure,
really couldn't come up with a good opposite of that other than back out of cards. So
sure.
so what cards are you into right now? What are you collecting? What are you looking to rip? And what are you out of? What are you just staying away from right now? Are you kind of taking a time out from or selling if you're
Sure,
out cards? Um,
sure, sure.
so
Well,
if you want to
right
start
now,
what you're into.
right, right, right now, I mean, I'm obviously, I'm always ripping the newest product, and trying to move into the sports that are playing right now, because I
Okay.
think, that's what's hottest. So, I have been ripping, some of that Mosaic, NFL and what have you. Not so much buying, or opening up basketball or anything like that. Trying to get away from, you know, that kind of stuff. But what I am kind of concentrating on is, buying more Hall of Fame cards like this
Okay.
this
Very nice.
Jerry Rice. Yeah, just kind of like, buying more of the Hall of Fame cards, getting more of my older cards graded. This is a Peyton Man or Peyton Manning that I had
Nice.
graded a couple
Chrome.
about a year ago or so. So yeah, no, I'm kind of getting back into vintage cards a little bit, kind of getting away from buying all the hot new guys right now. But if I'm gonna rip probably some football.
So very similarly, I've been picking up some quote unquote vintage. It's a Tracy McGrady,
Nice,
and
nice,
right.
nice,
Um, I've got a Barry Sanders. This I bought a while ago, but it's a Barry Sanders
nice,
89 score to 9.
nice.
I mean, it's not super fantastic of a grade, but it's a really solid card.
How are the subgrades on that one?
9, 9, 9.5, 8.5 surface. I'm curious about that, but
Yeah,
maybe it's
that's
got a ding or
awesome.
something.
That's
Yeah,
a
and
great
then
card. That's a great card right there for sure.
Gary Payton on the phone.
Nice.
Right? What is that at the lottery? That's a nice
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Was
Actually,
that
a 10 and a 9 of this one too, because they were
that,
just
that was
they
that's
seem
like a mid '90s card right there.
90,
There
90.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
you're talking 93, I'm sorry, 97,
yep,
89,
yep. That
and then
was
90. Yeah.
right in the thick of when I was collecting pretty heavily for sure.
Troy Aikman.
Nice.
So it's funny because I'm picking up a couple of Troy Aikmans, and I invested a lot in Charles Barkley. And
Yeah,
one of the factors was um, the younger generation knows him from
ESPN.
ESPN announcing, yeah,
Yeah,
or TNT, right, right.
yeah, or whatever he's on. Sure, sure. Yeah,
So
no, it's great. You gotta, I mean, you gotta move with the trends and
right,
culture for sure.
right. I mean, one thing that I'm into right now are rookies who I think are going to do well, but they're kind of with COVID and everything. They're either hurt or something. So like Gavin Lux, Jordan
Uh-huh.
Alvarez. Um, I'm not fully on board with Aquino yet from the Reds.
Sure.
I know a lot of people are really into him, and they say he's going to do well, but he is older, and the Reds outfield is really good, so it's going to be hard for him to get a spot in the lineup. I mean, maybe he could DH, but that was something that I wanted to kind of put out there too. As I'm looking at some of the Gavin Lux and
Sure.
stuff. Alec
Bob
Bowman from the Phillies
Bob
is someone I'm scouting too.
Bobby
Um,
Witt's another good name.
Bobby Witt is a good one. I
Yeah,
got him
Bobby Witt.
rated prospect in a break. I didn't get many of those Bowman Chrome like the Dominguez and the Wits. I didn't come across any of them, and I wasn't going to go chasing them. They're too expensive as singles.
Yeah,
But
no, I bought some Sterling that I ripped. I really like
would I
that
even
product.
put mine? I was in a Bowman Sterling break, and like I don't think I could have skunked any harder. It was he did it by division, and I had the NL East, and I think I got like 4 base cards. Like it was
Oh
bad.
wow,
I did
wow.
get the
Well,
one Matt, but they're upstairs, and like I don't know where I put them, and I spent $125 for a spot in this limited break, and it just I think it was like 3 boxes too. It wasn't like that crappy of a break. I just
sure.
completely bombed, and that's the part of doing breaks. So I don't know. I do a little bit of breaking. I do a lot of breaking with Cahill cards. I do a lot of breaking with a buddy of mine locally. So remember I said earlier the couple of card shops. The one guy, he's pretty much like a virtual card shop. He doesn't have a brick
Oh,
and mortar,
nice,
but he does breaks. He does have he does a lot of card shows. So that's why I
nice,
call it virtual. And
nice.
I'll be like, hey, I want these or that. So when I first got back into it, like in April or May, and I was introduced to him through another mutual friend, I had kind of said, I need you to build me a portfolio of like cards I could send for grading that will gem. He always says to me, whenever you buy a card from me, if I tell you it's going to gem, it's going to gem. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So, he gave me like a little cross section of like Mookie Betts, Arenado, Bellinger, Gleyber Torres. So he built this portfolio of like 10 cards to send in. So I'm still waiting to hear back. But
Nice.
so far so good. So we have that good relationship. And that I'll go to him and say I want to buy. So I actually pre-ordered 2 WNBA Prism hobby boxes.
Nice, nice.
And then
So,
found out
so
so much. He's offering to buy them back from me for double what I paid for him. And I'm like, no, I think
wow,
it's gold.
wow.
So those will
Have
be
you
good.
have you ever bought any WNBA yet? Or I mean,
Very
is this
And they come
yeah,
out in October. So
yeah, no, I just talked to my card local card shop about it the other day, and he was telling me how hot that product was becoming and
it's like
such.
700 a box now. So it's crazy.
That's that's wild.
So
That's
I
wild.
think he's calling me out on the promise of gemming. And I mean, I trust Angelo. He's been in the business for like 20 years. He's like me. He'll look at a card meticulously. We'll look at centering. I'll look at the cards before I buy them, and I have said
Sure.
no. I want to give this one back. Like I'm not gonna. So right, it's not a guarantee. Like it's not like buying on eBay, obviously. Yeah, they are 600 pre-sale, and I paid
Wow.
25 a piece. I have 2 of them.
That's that's
So
crazy.
that
That's that's
softball.
that's crazy.
So we're seeing a trend here. Like even what Ziggy's saying is female sports are up and coming, right? So like I'm already heavily invested. Not heavily, I'm invested in women's soccer, right? Alex
Sure.
Morgan. I've got Mia Hamm. I've got Mia Hamm rookies. I've got Alex Morgan rookies. I got a bunch of Carly Lloyd cards. They're big in like the select set we're talking about earlier. So I think the women's sports is an area that you can still get in fairly cheap.
Yep.
I think the whole soccer market has come up, so they're going to be expensive. But I have not seen top softball, and as long as the set contains Jenny Fitch, I'm in. She's
Yeah.
only here, I know, but right. So with the
Absolutely.
Olympics and stuff like that's where you're going to see like the softball players, right? Because there's no real professional softball, unfortunately. But you're going to see the Olympic, players and stuff like that and whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
No, you
Yeah, that's kind
the
of what I'm into is definitely the women's sports, the vintage cards, and I think like you, I'm kind of out of the basketball right now. It's going to settle in, and then I'm
sure.
going to reevaluate.
Right, right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just into buying a lot of these younger cards right now, and
No,
I'm
it's
kind
all
of
it's all about it's
great.
definitely is all about trying to figure out what the next trend's going to be, and hopping on it like you say as early as possible, and getting involved and buying things before everyone else is. I've as funny as it is, I've bought some of the NASCAR cards. I don't know anything about NASCAR, but I know that a lot of people are into them. So
I have some hobby boxes if you want some. I've got
there
4
you go.
hobby boxes,
There
and they
you
just
go.
kind of sat at like the $100 mark. It really didn't move a whole lot. I thought they might pop because they were one of the first sports to come back, and
You
they're all
just,
right. I mean, I'm
you
not
just,
losing.
but you never know. You never know. And so it's just another gamble.
You never know. So William asked me what Alex Morgan cards I am looking at. I don't have my second monitor set up, otherwise I'd go on eBay and show you. I want to say it's 2011 and 2012 Topps card of Alex Morgan. I have one of a PSA 9. I don't think I got the 10. Her select cards are really good. The 2015, 2016, I think, of the select, and I might be getting the years wrong, but look at Alex Morgan select. And, that's what I'd go after. I don't think there's Prism. There might be some Donruss in Optic. So I would check Optic. I would check select for Alex Morgan. There's not that many of them, so you could probably put them into eBay and kind of find what you're looking for there, William. Hope that helps.
Definitely.
Yeah, so Ziggy also asked about your social media. So I'll give you a few moments. What social medias are you on? How do people engage you? How can they find you?
Yeah. Sure. Well, to be honest with you, I'm just on TikTok. And really not anywhere else. I kind of hopped on the whole TikTok train at the beginning of the year and have been having fun ever since. I have thought about opening up an Instagram page, but for right now, you can find me on TikTok. That's where I'm at.
Oh,
yeah, no, I enjoy the platform. I enjoy it. It's definitely a platform that I feel like I can express myself. I'm on it to just have fun and rip cards and show people what I'm doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could already see that Joe Burrow auto, sitting on Instagram, being that would be a great opening photo.
There you go.
I know what I use for my Instagram. Where's it? No, it's TikTok. So I like using it. So there's that oh yeah, $1,000 at a 9 card. It was at a 9 because that was auto. So like I like TikTok for like just showing off of that. That was a case hit of Optic Break, was the Juan Soto Stars and Stripes.
Nice.
So I like Instagram. I tell my wife, I'm like, it's just feel good. No one's writing a whole diatribe of how they feel about something. It's visual. It's nice pictures, and people just post. Especially breakers. Breakers love Instagram because they're not even their cards and they're opening up all this product. So, it's really good cred for them to show their top hits. It's cool.
Well, I will say, always look up my name, Love of Cards. You never know where you're gonna find me, what corner of the internet I'll be hanging out on. And
there you go. Well, like I said, I'm glad I bumped into you and I enjoy your content. I love the TikTok sports community. It's like my happy place. It's intermingled. I kind of like when I do something that might be a little people have an opinion on and they don't necessarily agree with my opinion, and the comments just explode. And I just sit back and watch and I kind of chuckle because I don't take too much of it too seriously. I had somebody call me out. What'd they call me out on? And they're asking me like what cards I have, and they're like, talk to me when you have a Giannis PSA 10 and I forget, and I'm like, buddy, like that's not what we're here for. Like,
just
he didn't like the SGC stuff. He's like, he's like, oh, SGC's trash. So I'm like, well, that's your opinion. And he's like, oh, talk to me when you get a Giannis. So then Ed Cahill saw that, and I'm friends with Ed Cahill through online, and he's like, why don't you post some content and stop hiding behind your keyboard, right? This guy found me and Ed on Instagram, and he's sending us pictures of his cards, and I'm like, that's great. Like, I'm really happy for you. Like, I choose to put my money elsewhere, and
yeah, no, it definitely is a crazy thing for sure. There's some people have too much time on their hands.
It's like, I really don't care how my collection stacks up to yours, because my collection is just that. It is my collection.
That's just it. It is your collection for sure. 100%.
You get that FOMO, and people just feel like, oh, I don't have a Giannis, I better go buy one. I mean, I sold a couple of Lucas after he had that hot game, and then I actually tried to find cards that I thought were mispriced, and then try to quick flip them again. So I did buy a couple cards that were cheaper, but then
Nice.
he kind of sputtered, and then Dallas got eliminated. And I bought a card for 325 that I thought was gonna be a 450 card in like the next week, and now it's like a 275 card. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just gonna
Up and
hold.
down, up and down.
I'm gonna hold it, and it's gonna go up anyway, and I'll eventually I'll have my time to shine.
Yeah, for
So,
sure, for sure.
definitely don't try to overthink it either. That's some advice I have for people too.
Yeah.
So Jay, it's awesome. We're just approaching the 1 hour mark. Thank you so much for
Right
taking
on,
time.
man.
I know you're on.
Hey, I appreciate it. I
Metro.
appreciate you inviting me, and I appreciate meeting you and all that kind of good stuff. I always love talking to people about sports cards, and try to hop on TikTok Live as much as I can too. So I'm
Yeah, I love
sure people
TikTok
out.
Live. I'll just sit there and I'll open something up. I'll have a pack of cards, and I'll just have cards. And I'm like, okay, like, here's the pack that I opened, and we'll do like a trivia. I'll try to get like some sports current events.
Yeah,
And,
you gotta
and
have
like,
a good
okay,
good time on it.
you could pick one of these cards. Which one do you pick? And I just mail them the card, and it's fun. Like people do enjoy giveaways. I don't like giving away like these super expensive cards, but I don't want to give away junk either. But
Sure.
people just seem to really appreciate a good little contest.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fun.
there's a lot of younger collectors that I like to, that are
Yeah,
out there too, and I enjoy answering questions, and I mean, any way that I can assist in someone's joy and happiness in the hobby, that's
right,
always what I
right.
want to do for sure.
You got it.
Right
So,
on.
yep, you can find Jay on TikTok at Love of Cards, and check the internet. You may see where he pops up next. We're gonna try to really peer pressure him into getting onto Instagram next, and
There
nice,
you go.
slow ease him into Instagram.
There you
But,
go.
no, I think that's a good one. I mean, I'm on Twitter also, and I'll say Twitter like hobby. I want to say it's rough, but it is like there's a lot out there, a lot of
Yeah,
opinions, a lot of articles, a lot of connections. People know each other, and it's very interesting. But yeah, check it out. So
fantastic,
I want
fantastic.
to thank all my viewers. Hope you hit that like button, and I appreciate all the comments. And this will be available on audio later this week. So Jay, I will say goodbye. Thanks again, and we'll probably we'll hope to have you back on the show. Maybe we'll
Right on.
later in the year around Christmas time we could talk about the holiday Topps card.
Yeah, would love to. Thanks a lot, Michael. I
Awesome.
appreciate it,
All
bud.
right, Jay. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.